Hello, welcome to Business. Tonight, Bank of Baroda is providing further details about the agreement it has reached with Stanbic Bank, which essentially would see Stanbic assume the deposits and loans of customers of the Indian bank. Bank of Baroda, in a statement, also denies speculations it is exiting Ghana because it is unable to meet the 400 million cedi capital requirement set by the Bank of Ghana. My colleague Philip Namfori has the latest.
Bank of Baroda Ghana Limited has come out to clarify its deal it entered into with Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited. Bank of Baroda Ghana Limited says this is an assumption agreement and not a takeover as was being speculated earlier on. Now let me explain assumption agreement. Essentially, the loans and the deposits of Bank of Baroda customers are going to be assumed by Stanbic Bank. Let me break that down further. Stanbic Bank is going to take on the responsibilities, the obligations of all the deposits and loans together with the customers that possess these. So essentially what's going to happen is that Stanbic Bank now has the role of ensuring that all Bank of Baroda customers are served. So going forward, all Bank of Baroda customers now become Stanbic Bank customers and transact through any of Stanbic Bank's branches. Bank of Baroda says this deal was given regulatory blessing, and as such, it's going to wind down its activities in the country as part of its global mother company's strategy. They are exiting investments in other parts of the world, and Ghana is one of such countries. So we should see that going forward, Bank of Baroda will cease to exist as a bank or as an entity within the country in the months to come. But now, all customers, all deposits, and all loans have been assumed by Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited. For Joy Business, Philip Namfori.
All right, so what is confirmed, as we have been reporting, is that Stanbic Bank is taking over the customer deposits and loans of Bank of Baroda. But question is, what happens to Bank of Baroda staff? Well, financial expert Dr. Dan Sedo says Stanbic Bank is under no obligation to keep the workers of Baroda.
Stanbic is assuming responsibility for depositors.
Yes.
Effectively, if your money is in Baroda, if you are looking for it tomorrow, go to Stanbic and you will get your money. It does not mean that workers should follow to Stanbic. I explained earlier that Stanbic is a big bank. Now, if they do not have need for excess additional staff, they won't take them. What should happen is Bank of Baroda should settle those workers because they are closing down the bank. If there's some exit packages they need to pay those staff, yes. But I do not think Stanbic will be under any obligation to assume responsibility for the staff. If in the scheme of things, Stanbic thinks that, look, Mr. Dazi or whoever is a good person they want to pick and add to their staff, they have liberty to do that.
Well, the central bank is expected to carry on with this efforts to reform the banking sector as the new year begins. Aside from universal banks, the Bank of Ghana is also on a drive to sanitize the microfinance and savings and loans sector. Banking consultant Anotu Champon says this is important for a sound financial sector.
Groups, that is savings and loans, finance houses, rural banks, and microfinance. Now, savings and loans and finance houses are put together because the minimum capital is the same for them, that's 15 million. The governor has intimated that there are some pockets of problems within that sector. And again, they have had this, the blessing of the government to resolve them. But so once this is dealt with, then they'll move to that area and resolve. Then there are the rural banks. Yeah, rural banks, we also have one or two that are causing us problems, and they will also be resolved. The microfinance, there's a lot of natural attrition going on in the sense that they had a minimum capital of 500,000 and now it's been moved to 2 million. Now, so some of them are simply saying, here you are with your license, I cannot find 2 million. Or even if I find it, I don't know what I'm going to do with 2 million, so I don't want to operate. So naturally, some are exiting, you know, but those that have got difficulties, again, we hope that the regulator will solve them.
Well, away from banking, freight forwarders are asking for more consultation to ensure smooth operation of port clearance systems. This is after the Economic Management team directed the Ministry of Trade and Industry to immediately suspend the single window system Unipass, which was to be facilitated by a South Korean firm. Here is Kwabna Fosuapia, who is president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders.
We are saying that if you do not properly work out the governance structure, you can bring whatever pass, you have the same problem. But mind you, you saw what happened even with the absence of the governance structure. We got an announcement that Unipass was going to take off on 1st of January. Just last week, we had a call out from the GRA, that we should prepare our folks for training on 24th. I said, wow, what? How can we even imagine this? So they shifted it to 27th. Then we told, just to show good faith, we said, okay, we'll see what we can do. It was going to be a difficult call because if you look at the psychology of the time, 27th, you call people to sit them down for training, but we told them we're going to do our best. But of course, other folks are also thinking. And you saw the directive that came from the Economic Management team, the decision note that asked them to shift this thing to somewhere August. Okay, so we cannot be going forward as a people like this. Why did we even have to announce the 1st of January and try to push everybody through? When you do this and you face resistance, then it is like we don't want the system to work. That is not it. Far from it. If it is a good system, it will speak for itself.
Well, finally, the National Board for Small-Scale Industry says it would transform its business advice units into resource centers this year. This forms part of its support scheme for small businesses. Kosi Yankee is the executive director of the board.
I think for us at NBSSI, we're looking at 4 really strong strategic pillars. One is the institutional strengthening of the organization, because without a strengthened and a strong institution, you cannot deliver. It's like, how do you support someone when you are dying or you're not strong enough? And so that was one of the main strategic directions we're going to do, was to really strengthen the institution, which meant building the capacity of our staff, strengthening it to deliver, being able to use technology to do a lot of the work that we do as well. What does that look like? Once you walk into our business resource center, you should be able to access all the regulatory needs that you have as a business. So if I'm a youth and I don't have a job and I walk into my BRC, I should be able to start a business or register the business, get advice to be able to grow the business, get support as to where access to finance is for startups, or access to finance for various things I might want to do, be startup capital, to buy an asset, various things. If you walk into the BRC and you need Food and Drugs Board certification, Ghana Standards Authority, GRA, anything that would make your business strong, you should be able to get it in our resource center. So in the next year, we are going to build stronger partnership with these institutions, and it's needed. And we're going to work very closely with private sector implementers, because we don't want to be seen as doing the work of private sector, but to collaborate with private sector to deliver on our mandate, which is to strengthen MSMEs.
There's more business news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.